बाल चरित चहु बंधु के बनज विपुल बहुरंग नृपरानी परिजन सुकृत मधुकर पारी विहंग सिय स्वयंवर कथा सुहाई सरित सुहावनी सो छाई नदी नाव पटु प्रश्न अनेका केवट कुशल उतर सविवेका श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा सुनि अनुकथन परस पर सोई पथिक समाज सोह सरि सोई घोर धार भृगुनाथ रिसानी घाट सुबुद्ध राम बरबानी सानुज राम विवाह उछाहूं सो शुभ उमग सुखद सब काहूं कहत सुनत हर शही पुलकाही ते सुकृति मन मुदित नहाही राम तिलक हित मंगल साजा परब जोग जनु जुरे समाजा काई सुमति के कई केरी परिजासु फल विपति खनेरी समन अमित उत्पात सब भरत चरित उपजाग कलि अघ खल अवगुण कथन ते जल मल बग काज सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। कीरति सरित छहूं ऋतुरूरी समय सुहावनी पावनी भूरी हिम हिम शैल सुता शिव ब्याहूं सिर सिर सुखर प्रभु जन्म उछाहूं बर नव राम विवाह समाजो सोमुद मंगलमय ऋतुराजो प्रियशन कृषम दुसह राम बन गवनु पंथ कथा खर आतप पवनु वर्षा घोर निशाचर रारी सुरकुल सारी सुमंगल कारी राम राज सुख विनय बराई विशद सुखर सोई सरद सुहाई सती राम जय राम जय जय राम। अवलोकनी बोलनी मिलनी प्रीति परस्पर हास। भायप भली चहु बंधु की जल माधुरी सुबास। आरती बेनय दीनता मोरी लघुता सलित सुबारी न थोरी। अद्भुत सलिल सुनत गुणकारी। आस प्यास मनोमल हारी। राम सुप्रेम ही पोषक पानी। हरत सकल कलिल कुश गलानी। भव श्रम शोषक दोषक दोखा। समन दुरित दुख दारिद दोखा। राम को मद मोह न सावन। विमल विवेक विराग बढ़ावन। सादर मज्जन पान किए ते। मिटहि पाप परिताप किए ते।
It's a rainy evening and we are at the Sri Hanuman Darshan Ashram, bamboo number 3, and this is night number 5 of Ramayana 103. Bamboo village, there's bamboo number 1, number 2 and number 3. We're at number 3 for the next 2 hours. There is chanting to be followed by the interpretation and discourse of Ramcharitmanas by Swami Prakashananda with the compliments of Republic Bank Limited, Extra Foods, Supermarkets, T.N. Ramnath and Company Limited, Timol Trace Penal, Budu's Funeral Home, Southern Main Road, Kanupia, and Samlal Singh's Business Center, 185 Union Road in Marabella. I'm excited. Andy Sergio called me last night. The ashram has been receiving messages from listeners from various parts of the world. And last night, a listener in São Paulo, Brazil, emailed to say that she was listening to our broadcast on Heritage Radio 101.7 FM, and how much she's enjoying the interpretation of Ramayana and looks forward to following throughout the 108 nights. We are at the Sri Hanuman Darshan Ashram, bamboo number 3. Drizzles and rain will not interfere with the schedule tonight, and we invite you to join us.
पति ही आव सब कोई। श्री राम जय जय। देवदनुज किन्नर नर श्रेणी सादर मजहि सकल त्रिवेणी। पूजहि माधव पद जल जाता परसि अखय बटू हर्षि जागाता। भरद्वाज आश्रम अति पावन परम रम्य मुनिवर मन भावन। तहाँ होई मुनि ऋषय समाजा जाहि जे मज्जन तीरथ राजा। मजहि प्रात समेत पूछा कहीं परस पर हरि गुण गा। ब्रह्मन रूपन धर्म विधि वरण ही तत्व विभाग। कही भगति भगवंत कै सुनजत ज्ञान विराग। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। एही प्रकार भरी माघ नहाही पुनि सब निज निज आश्रम जाही। श्री राम जय जय रामा। श्री राम जय जय रामा। यही प्रकार भरी माघ नहाये पुनि सब निज निज आश्रम जाई। प्रति संबद अति होई अनंदा मकर मच्छी गवनहि मुनि वृंदा। एक बार भरी मकर नहाये सब मुनीस आश्रम विदाये। जागवतिल मुनि परम विवेकी भरद्वाज राखे पद टेकी। सादर चरण सरोज पखारे अति पुनीत आसन बैठारे। करी पूजा मुनि सुजसु बखानी बोले अति पुनीत मृदुबानी। नाथ एक संशय पर मोरे करकट वेद तत्व सब तोरे। कहत सुमोहि लागत भय लाजा जो न कहूँ बड़ होई अकाजा। श्री राम जय जय रामा। 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 संत कहे अति नीति प्रभु श्रुति पुराण मुनि गाओ। होई न विमल विवेक उर गुरु सन किए दुरास। आपति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। अस विचार प्रगटऊ निज मोहु। हरहु नाथ करी जन पर छोहु। राम नाम कर अमित प्रभावा। संत पुराण उपनिषद गावा। संत सतत जपत शंभु अविनाशी। शिव भगवान ज्ञान गुण राशि। आकर चारी जीव जग अहि। काशी मरत परम पद लहि। सोपी राम महिमा मुनि राया। शिव उपदेशु करत करिदाया। राम कवन प्रभु पूछहु तोहि। कहिय बुझाई कृपा निधि मोहि। एक राम राम एक राम अवधेश कुमारा। दिनकर चरित वेदित संसारा। नारी बिरह दुखोस लहेऊ अपारा। भयऊ रोष रण रावण मारा। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। प्रभु सोई राम के ऊपर को जाहि जपत त्रिपुरारि रामा। सत्य धाम सर्वज्ञ तुम कहूँ विवेक विचार। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। शरणम। जैसे मिटे मोर भ्रम भारी। कहूँ सो कथा नाथ विस्तारी। जाग बलिक बोले मुँह सुखाए। तुम्हीं विदित रघुपति प्रभुताई। राम भगत तुम मन क्रम बानी। चतुराई तुम्हारी में जानी।
राम गुण गूढ़ा किन्हु प्रश्न मनहु अति मूढ़ा।
तात सुनहु
सादर मनुलाई। कहूँ राम के कथा सुहाई।
मोह मही से सुविसरावा। राम कथा काली कराला। राम कथा सरस गर्द समाना। संत चकोर करही जही पाना। ऐसे ही संशय कीन भवानी। महादेव कब कहाँ बखानी। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। कहे सुमति अनुहारी। अब उमा शंभु संवाद। भयउ समय जही हेतु जही। सुन मुनि मिटी विषाद। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। एक बार त्रेता जोग माही। शंभु गए कुंभज ऋषि पाही। संग अखिलेश्वर जानी। राम कथा मुनि पर जब खानी, सुनी महेश परम सुगुमानी। ऋषि पूछी हरि भगति सुहाई, कही शंभु अधिकारी पाई। श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा। कहत सुनत रघुपति गुण गाथा, कछु दिन तहाँ रहे गिरिनाथा। मुनि सन विदा मागी त्रिपुरारी, चले भवन संग दक्ष कुमारी। तेहि अवसर भंजन मही भारा, हरि रघुवंश दीन अवतारा।
पिता बचन तजी राजू
उदासी, दंडक बन विचरत अविनाशी। हृदय विचारत जात हर, केहि विधि दर्शन होई। गुप्त रूप अवतरऊ प्रभु, गए जान सब कोई। सती न जानहि मरमु सोई, शंकर उर अति क्षोभु। मन डरु लोचन लालची, तुलसी दर्शन लोभु। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। रावण मरण मनुज कर चाचा, प्रभु विधि बचन कीन साचा।
जो नहीं जाओ रही
पछतावा, करत विचारु न बनत बनावा। एहि विधि भय सोच बसई सा, ते समय जाई दस सीसा। लीन नीच मारक्षि संगा, भयउ तुरत सोई कपट तुरंगा। करी मछलु करी छलु मूढ़, हरि वैदेही। प्रभु प्रभाव समविदित न तेहि, मृग बधि बंधु सहित हरि आए। आश्रम देखी नयन जल छाए, विरह विकलन रहीवर रघुराई। खोजत विपिन फिरत दो भाई, कबहु जोग वियोग मन जाके। देखा प्रगट विरह दुखता के, अति विचित्र रघुपति चरित। जानहि परम सुजान, जे मति मंद विमोह बस। हृदय धरहि कछुआन, शंभु समय तेहि राम ही देखा। उपजाहि अति हर्षु विसेका, भरि लोचन छवि सिंधु बिहारी। समय जानी न कीन्हि चिन्हारी। जय सच्चिदानंद जग जग पावन, अस कही चले मनोजन सावन। चले जात शिव सती समेता, पुनि पुनि पुलकत कृपा निकेता। सती सो दशा शंभु के देखी, पुर उपजा संदेह विशेषी। शंकरु जगबंध जगदीसा, सुर नर मुनि सब नावत सीसा। तिन्हंद पसुत ही कीन्ह परनामा, करी सच्चिदानंद पर धामा। भय मगन छवि तासु विलोकी, अजहु प्रीति उर रहती न सरोकी। श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा। ब्रह्म जो व्यापक बिरज अजय, अकल अनीह अभेद। सो की देह धरी हुई नर, जाहि न जानत वेद। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। विष्णु जो सुरहित नर तनु धारी, सो सर्वज्ञ जथा त्रिपुरारी। खोजई सो की अज्ञ इव नारी, ज्ञान धाम श्रीपति अनुसारी। शंभु गिरा पुनि मृषान होई, शिव सर्वज्ञ जान सब कोई। अस संशय मन भयउ अपारा, कोई न हृदय प्रबोध प्रचारा। यद्यपि प्रगट न कहेऊ भवानी, हर अंतर यामी सब जानी। सुनहि सती तब नारी सुभाऊ, संशय असन हरिय उड़काऊ। जासु कथा कुंभज ऋषि गाई, भगति जासु में मुनि सुनाई। सो मम इष्ट देव रघुबीरा, सेवत जाहि सदा मुनि धीरा। मुनि धीर जोगी सिद्ध संतत, विमल मन जे ध्यावहि। कही नेति निगम पुराण, आगम जासु कीरति गावहि। सोई राम व्यापक ब्रह्म भुवन, निकायपति मायाधनी। अवतरेऊ अपने भगत हित, निज तंत्र निज रघुकुल मणि। कहऊ शिव बार बहु, लागनौर उपदेश जदपि। हरि माया बलु लजानी जिय, बोले बिहसी महेशु। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, और पुत्र हनुमान की जय। हर हर महादेव की।
Indeed a pleasure again to have you in our home, because you have started this ashram, as we will recall, with 7 nights for my grandfather, 5 nights. You're so long, and you're here again, and hope to see you many more times to come.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुदेवाय नमः। लोकाभिरामम् रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रम् रघुवंशनाथम्। सब गए। लोकाभिरामम् रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रम् रघुवंशनाथम्। कारुण्यरूपम् करुणाकरं तम् श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तम् श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। काहू न को सुख दुख कर दाता, निज कृत कर भोग सब भ्राता। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 कर्म प्रधान विश्व करि राखा, जो जस करई सो तस फल चाखा। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। मंगल भवन मंगलहारी, प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। होई ही सोई जो राम रचि राखा, को करि तर्क बढ़ावे
बिनु सत्संग भी बेक न होई, राम कृपा बिनु सुलभ न सोई। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम 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 राम।
राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम
राम। श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। If you're joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing 10 dohas per night. There was just over 1,000 dohas in this Ramayana. And 108 by 10 is just over 1,000. My mathematics is not so good, but it's just about 1,080. So it's just a little bit more than how many dohas there are. Last night we stopped at doha number 38, which is within the previous section. We'll start just after 38 today again, and we'll cover today's 10. So we can't stop exactly at the doha because sometimes the topic doesn't finish at the doha. Another topic falls in the middle and all of that sort of thing. So we're not stopping exactly there. 38 was the last doha we saw. Now you just go down a little bit. Tulsidas ji in number 38 was describing what is required from us, from our side, to imbibe Ram Katha. He himself talks here in this Ramcharitamanas about 3 types of shrotas. 3 types of listeners there are. One type of listener, that thing goes in one ear and goes out from the other ear. Because inside there's an air tunnel. Like that. Another type of listener that goes in the air and comes out from the mouth. Nothing stayed inside. There's another type of listener. He could tell everything that transpired, but that doesn't make any impact on his life. And the third type of listener is that he listens, it goes in his ear and goes to his heart and stays. And there, slowly, it brings about transformation, rehabilitation. It brings about a metamorphosis because it stays inside. He keeps it. So that type of listener is required for this Ramcharitamanas. Sunahutat mati manachita lai Lakshmanat. Even the parrot responded. The parrot on that side? Oh, okay. Tulsidas ji talks about parrots also. Let's see this. See what he tells about parrot. Nice thing. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sab gaiye.
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
साधु असाधु सदन सुख सारी।
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
सुमिरहि राम देहि गनि गारी।
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
साधु असाधु सदन सुख सारी।
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
सुमिरहि राम देहि गनि गारी। This ties into what our katha also. Sadhu asadhu sadhan sukhasari sumirahi ram dehi gani gari. He says, you take two little parrots, baby parrots, and you put one in the house of sadhu, and you put one in the house of the other fellow, opposite of sadhu. And you come back after some time. The one in the house of the sadhu, Sumirahi Ram, you will hear that parrot saying Ram, Ram, Ram. And the other one, Dehi Gani Gari. Gari means gali. Gali means curse. He'll give you some good gali. I don't know if it's something like good gali, but in Trinidad language, good gali. So if you want to know what has gone in his house, you should listen to that parrot. I think that parrot also will chant Ram, 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 Hanumanji. He'll perhaps chant Hanumanji. But this is the power of Sangha. And last night we saw that who is qualified to listen to Ram Katha? The one who likes Satsanga. The one who likes to be in the company of Sajjan, good people, talking about Ram, talking about the greatness and glory of Ram. So Tulsidas ji is relating the power of Ram Katha and its transformative aspect, how great it is in transforming the human being. And he told, we saw, that the one who has Shraddha, the one who has Satsang, which proper Sangha, proper association, and the one who has love for Bhagwan Ram, this person will surely be transformed by this Ram Katha. And Tulsidas ji is a living example of that. Was a living example in his time of that. Transformed by Ram Katha. Now, what happens after this? This is where we left last night. What happens after this is one of the biggest metaphors you will see in this Ramcharitmanas. Now see. The Ramcharitmanas is considered to be Manasarovar. Now what is Manasarovar? I have to tell you this metaphor. Manasarovar is a great lake which is there in Kailash, which is in modern day Tibet, which at that time was all part of India and all, right? Manasarovar. So Tulsidas compares this Ramcharitmanas as Manasarovar, like the Manasarovar, two Manasarovar. Meaning to say, this Ramcharitmanas is a great, huge lake of all the glories of Bhagwan Ram. And the Sarayu Nadi river, Sarayu river which runs in Ayodhya, runs through Ayodhya. That Sarayu is not physically, metaphorically now, a tributary of that Manasarovar. And this Sarayu Nadi is this Ramcharitmanas. One tributary of this great lake. So what he is writing is only a little bit of this great lake. That river is only a little bit of that water passing through Ayodhya, like that. And so now, for the next maybe 5-6 dohas going on, maybe 50 verses or so, he goes on comparing the two banks of that river, the water in that river, the lilies in that river, everything, crocodile in the river, everything in that river, he tells what they represent. So it's all a, what you call, symbolism for several verses. But he says that he himself took a bath in that Manasarovar. He took a bath in that Manasarovar and he purified his mind. And through his mind, Lord Shiva and Bhagwan Ram are able to work this Ramcharitmanas for the benefit of all of us. That is the idea. Now see, we only talk about bath and rain came. See this. This is after 38. Few lines down. Few chaupais down after 38. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri
Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Asman Manas Chakchahi. Shri Ram Jaya
Jai Jai Rama.
Bhai kabhi buddhi bimal avgahi. Shri Ram Jaya
Jai Jai Rama.
Bhayau hridaya anand uchahu.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Umage prem pramod pravahu.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Jali subhag kabhi dasarigaso. Shri
Ram Jai Rama.
Ram bimal jas jal bharitaso.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Sarju naam sumangal moola.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Lok vedvat manjul kula.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Syavara Ramachandra ki jai. Asmanas manas chakhat chahi. Vai kabhi buddhi bimal avagahi. He says he has taken a dip in that Manasarovar, means the great lake of the glories of Bhagwan Ram. Tulsidas ji has taken a small dip. Bhayau hridaya ananda uchahu. And his heart became joyous. In other words, I told you now, on the first day itself we saw. Sita ji is in the midst of Lanka. There are Rakshasas everywhere. She is miserable, kidnapped in a foreign place. Tulsidas ji describes a pitiable condition in Sundarkand. She can't even raise her head. She's looking down. But that time, Ramachandra guna baranay laga, sunata hi Sita kar dukha bhaga. And listening to the glories of Bhagwan Ram, all her sorrows went away. Tulsidas ji said he took a dip in the glories of Manasarovar. And then what happened? Bhayav Anand, Hridaya Anand, bliss only came to his heart. Actually, people go on looking in this world for bliss. Is Jagat mein, it is called as Samsara Saram, Samsara Asaram. Actually, Samsara Saram there means the essence of the samsara, but the samsara itself is asar. It is essence without any joy, any bliss, anything, any nectar in the samsara. What is beneath the samsara is the reality, which is Lord Shiva. That is what gives bliss. He's called as Satchitananda. See? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That Shiva, which is the real essence, reality behind the samsara, that is what is blissful. In the samsara itself, we will not find any bliss. You know how samsara has no bliss? You just think, na? Because the same object in samsara can give one person misery and can give another person bliss. That means with the misery, the bliss is not anything. You take a Trini and you take him down to Debe. When we came from Lal Bihari Trace a few days ago, after satsang, all satsangis were lined up in Debe. And they think I didn't see them. And you go there and you tell them, I want one baigani with chana and heavy pepper. Chana and heavy pepper. And from that heavy pepper, he gets in bliss. And you bring an American person and you give him heavy pepper. Right? The same heavy pepper that give one man bliss will give another man blisters. Eh? So, that means the joy is really not in the thing. The thing evokes a certain response in our personality. So it is the response is being evoked from the personality, is emanating from the personality. So if I can evoke that thing without the outer object, I will be always blissful. It is not to be found outside. It is to be found Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Aham Shivaha. Aham Chidananda Rupa. My nature is like that. So Tulsidaji says, the way to really get to one's blissful self is to take a dip in Ram Katha. That is the idea. I'll get to my own self. Uchahu, Umageu, Prema, Pramoda Prabhahu. After taking that dip in Manasarovar, what started flowing is the Sarayu. Sarayu Nadi na Saraju Namas Sumangala Mula Loka Bedamata Manjula Kula. In other words, he took a dip in Manasarovar, which is the glory, all the glories of Rama. And through him now, some of those glories are flowing and forming this Ramcharit Manas. And it's a small book, only 10,000 verses. You can't have all the glories of Ram. So it's a tributary, Sarayu Nadi. Of that, Chali Subhaga Kavita Sarita. So, this poem called as Ramcharitamanas is that flowing of the Sarayu from the Manasarovar. So, it is a symbolic sort of, it's a metaphorical kind of thing which he is giving there, and it deserves some real deeper study. The metaphor is really wonderful. But if I stop there, we will not be able to. But you get the idea. You have to, in your spare time, you go and read about that metaphor alone. Now we jump to number 43. After number 43, I have to, actually, I did not send these verses this morning, but I have to see these verses. After number 43, see this. Shri Rama Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama अनुरागा
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
तापस समदम दया निधाना श्री राम जय राम
Jaya Jaya Rama
परमारथ पथ परम सुजाना
Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
माघ मकर गत रवि जब होई तीरथ पति आव सब होई श्री राम जय राम
Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
श्यामर रामचंद्र की जय भरद्वाज मुनि बसहि प्रयागा Tulsidas ji starts relating now. After taking a dip, he himself says, I take a dip in this Ramcharita Manasarovar. And now, what is going to flow is Sarayu, which passes through Ayodhya. And which story? Now we have seen the descent of the Ramayana in one of the previous days. And he said, I am going to tell you the same story which Yagnavalkya told to Bharadwaj Muni. And Jagabalik got it from Kakabhushundi. And Kakabhushundi got it from Lord Shiva. Huh? This is it. I'm going to tell that story. And he starts to tell the story where we just chanted now. How he starts? He says, Bharadwaj Muni Basahi Prayaga. Bharadwaj, great sage, Bharadwaj Rishi, lived in or lives in Prayag. First thing. Then, Tinai Ramapada Ati Anuraga. He was a great devotee of the feet of Bhagwan Ram. This is Bharadwaj Muni. Bharadwaj Muni will feature again in Ayodhya Khan. When Bharat is going to meet Bhagwan Ram in the forest, he will stay with Bharadwaj in his ashram. So he'll come back again. A great Rishi. There you'll see the greatness of the Rishi will be given there. Greatness of Bharadwaj Muni. In one snap, Bharadwaj was able to transform his forest hermitage into Swarga. And Bharat and all the people there suddenly found themselves in palatial mansions. That's the greatness of the Rishi. Capable of transforming the whole forest into Swarga. That Bharadwaj lived in Prayag. It's a tapas samadama dayani thana. Bharadwaj was a storehouse of all austerities. Samadama. Sama means all quietude of mind, control of all the faculties, equal vision towards all beings. He is describing Daya, ocean of compassion. Nidhana, Paramarata Patha, Paramapsujana. A great Jnani, one who understood the highest reality. Paramarata means the absolute reality. This is the Bharadwaj Tulsidas is describing. And then the next line, and this is why I chose this section. I could not leave out this section, not chose. Could not leave out this section. Why? He said, Magha Makara Gata Rabi Jaba Hoi Tirat Patihi Av Sab Koi. In the Magh, time of Magh. Magh means this winter time. And do you know how amazing? Tulsidas ji is telling this story about how the Ramcharitmanas was given from Yagnavalkya, because this is Rishi tradition. Remember, Tulsidas ji does not have access to Kakabhushundi, who is in Mount Meru, which is in a previous time, and does not have access to Lord Shiva and Parvati, which is in Kailash. But he belongs to the Santa tradition, which is right here on the earth. Sadhu, Sant tradition. Mahatma tradition. You see, he belongs to that. And so he starts telling in his own Sant tradition now how this story started. This story started when Yagnavalkya in Magh, and you know, today is the first day of Magh. Today, January 18th, Magh starts in 2022. And it is in this period where the sun now has turned and is going on its northward journey, the northern solstice. It's called Uttarayana. And so, Tulsidas ji is telling how this happened in that Magh. And on the first day of Magh, this Magh story is coming. And it just happened like that only. So he says, there in this Magh, in this period, when the sun has turned and all the planetary systems have fallen in place, people come to Prayag, he says. And among them was a great sadhu, and they came there, sadhu by the name of Yagnavalkya. I'm using the two names, because Yagnavalkya is the Sanskrit name in the Upanishads and everywhere. But in this Ramcharitmanas, he's called a Jagabalik. Jagabalika. I don't know which one more sweet. Jagabalik is very sweet also. And that Jagabalik came and they all sat there, and now in number 44. What they do, when sages meet, when sadhus meet, हमारे हिंदी भाषा में कहते एक कहावत है क्या कहते हैं कि साधु साधु से मिले होई ईश्वर की बात. When one sadhu meets another sadhu, they talk about Ishvara, Bhagwan. They talk about the God. Gadha gadhe se mele hoi latam lat. When one donkey meets another donkey, they kick only. So what they did, see now number 44. And Jagabalik and all the different sadhus, they meet up there in Prayag, in the Magh, in this Makar Sankranti time.
निरूपण धर्म विधि पर नहीं तत्व विभागो राम पर नहीं तत्व विभाग कही भगति भगवंत के संयुक्त ज्ञान विराग सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय.
When we meet, some form of scriptural discussion should go on. That is best. Either if we are talking ordinary things of the world, we should be applying the principles of the scriptures in talking about those things. He said when all of the sadhus come to Prayag, what they talk about? They talk about Upanishad. Tulsidas is telling this. They talk about Upanishad, the Brahmani Rupan. Brahmani Rupan means they try to ascertain the exact nature of the absolute reality. They are called Brahmani Rupan. Brahma means the absolute reality. Brahmaya means Brahman, the absolute reality. So when they come, they try to ascertain the nature of that absolute reality. Then they speak about Dharma Vidhi. Dharma Vidhi means all the tenets and rules of Dharma. This is not so easy to grasp. Not at all easy. The rules and tenets of Dharma are very subtle. Many times we don't see. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, for instance, he gives in Bhagavad Gita that our speech should be how? Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. He says. This is called dharma. Eh? So if I am going to follow dharma, my speech should have these qualities. And one of the qualities there is very important, hitam. One of the quality, of course, in speech is truth. The speech should be truthful. But it should also be beneficial. So we should not go on saying, well, I tell him the truth. I don't care how we feel. That is not dharma. Dharma requires that if you're telling the truth, it should also be beneficial, and it should be helpful, and it should be good, and it should bring joy to the person. We feel that we are following dharma, but I tell him the truth, I don't care. But you hurt the man. And some people say the truth hurts. At that time, what is dharma? Dharma means I am supposed to not cause pain to the person. That is the idea. So if the truth is going to cause pain, what you do that time? Refrain from, don't say anything. Why you have to say? Just don't say. So you didn't speak a lie, you just didn't say anything. This is then Devi Bhagavatam. This is why we say dharma is not so easy to figure out. That's why scriptures are required. In Devi Bhagavatam, one sadhu was sitting like this. Police was chasing a chief. What was it? One man was chasing another man to kill him. So the sadhu was sitting. So the sadhu saw the first man. He ran and he hid somewhere. The second man came. He asked the sadhu, you saw where that man hid? Now see, dharma. The proper thing. He asked the sadhu, you saw where that man hid? The sadhu saw. But if he tells, this man will kill him. So the sadhu came up with a very nice thing. See, these are ways, simple ways to follow dharma. He said, the eyes that see, or the eyes that saw, they cannot speak. And the mouth that could speak did not see. In other words, where speaking the truth like that will result in the death of somebody, the death of this person. So this is why we have to take the guidance of scriptures and we find out what exactly is dharma vidhi. Why great sages like Yagnavalkya, Bharadwaj Muni, all of them will come there to talk about dharma vidhi. Because it's not so easy to figure it out. So we need the guidance of scriptures, we need the guidance of Sant Samaj, we need the guidance of the Sant tradition, Sadhu Samaj, to figure out all of these things. Baranahi tattva vibhaga. Oh. Tattva means the different type of essences in the universe. What is real, what is unreal, what things are more real than others. Like for example, I'll tell you. See, we have layers of reality. All of these things we don't ordinarily think, you see. Layers of reality. A snake on a rope, from our standpoint, is abhasa roop, means it is an appearance, isn't it? From this standpoint, if you see a snake on a rope, that is only an appearance. It's really no snake there. It's called abhasa rupa in Sanskrit. But from the absolute standpoint, from Brahman standpoint, this jagat is abhasa rupa. This jagat is an appearance. When you're driving down the Solomon Hochai highway and on a hot day you see water on the highway, na? Where there is no water, a mirage. Abhasa roop. But this is from the Vyavaharik Drishti. Vyavaharik Drishti means from this ordinary standpoint. But from the Paramarthik Drishti, from the absolute standpoint, this world is all Abhasa roop, appearance only. Therefore, reality, when we talk about reality, reality is to be spoken out about at different levels. Movie is Abhasa Rupa. Look here, something which is an appearance. I remember going to the movie when Sholay, my time was Sholay. And when Gabbar Singh killed that Amitabh Bachchan, Gabbar Singh, his men killed that Amitabh Bachchan. People were crying. Hare Rama, Amitabh Bachchan dead. Now no more movie with Amitabh Bachchan. They were crying in the theater. Those days people used to cry. So, something which is an appearance also could evoke a human response of joy or sorrow, isn't it? So, for that person who is looking, even though it is abhasa rupa, it is a fiction, it makes him cry. So reality has levels like that, and for the one who is enlightened, he comes to the highest reality. This world is abhasa rupa, everything. Huh? And we have to wait till we get there. But this is what they discuss. This is what we should discuss. Kai bhagati bhagavanta ke sanjuta jnana virag. They talk about jnana and virag and bhakti and all that. This is what they talk when they meet, when they reach there. Actually, this Sant Samaj and Sant Sammelan, we have to rekindle it, Baba. We have done once or twice in the ashram. But we have to. How it is done, You take this one chaupai, doha, for instance. And all the pandits and everybody, we meet and we go at it on those words. One doha. It will take us weeks if we really get into it. But this is what they do. Huh? So, that is what happened in this Magha at this same time. The first day of Magh, Tulsidaji is telling now. And when all this Sant Sanmelan and all the people took their bath in Prayag and Makar Sankranti time, and this is when they have the great, the world's, the world's biggest meeting of human beings is called the Kumbh Mela. It is from this period till end of the 22nd and next month. In between there, it always comes. Today is the first day. So, that is what was going on. This whole festivities took place there. And now everybody took their bath and did their worship and all of that, and they were all going home. Right? They were leaving. Well, ek baar, see, Tulsidashi describes. He's telling how he started, how this Ramayana started here. Not Kakabushundi and Garud, not Lord Shiva and Parvati, but here. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Ek baar bhari makar nahaye.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Sab munis ashraman sidhaye. Ramachandra ki jai, ek baar bhari makar nahaaye. So like that, Tulsidas ji says, no, at this time it is Makar, at this Makar Sankranti time. What happened? All of them took their bath and they were all going away. Sab Munisa Ashramanha Siddhaya. They were all going back to their respective ashrams. All the rishis who had come there. And don't think there's any far-fetched thing. This happens today also. Even today, this Kumbh Mela goes on at this time of the year. As we speak also. So it is not, this is going on for thousands of years. Tulsidas says, Jaga Balika Muni, Parama Viveki, and Yagnavalkya, the great Viveki. Viveki means one who can discriminate between real and unreal. Between the permanent and that which is impermanent. He calls us Viveki. Bharadwaj Rakhe Pada Teki. Bharadwaj Muni fell on his feet. The great Bharadwaj. Then Sadara Charan of Saroj Pakhare, and they brought water, Jal, with all his disciples, and they washed the feet of this great Yagnavalkya. And then Atipunit Asana Baithare, gave him a very nice seat to sit down. Kari Puja Muni Sujasu Bakhani. Then did puja for the Muni and glorified the Muni. Sujasu Bakhani. Then Bole Atipunita Mridubani. And then Bharadwaj asked. You know, all scriptures are like this. Somebody has to ask. All scriptures are formed like this. Parikshit Maharaj went and asked to Shukadev, you tell this, please tell me this Bhagavad. Somebody has to ask. And means ask the correct thing also. Arjuna is asking Bhagwan. And Bhagwan tells this Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning itself, he asks, from the basic questions, one has to ask. So, now, Bharadwaj asked to Yagnavalkya. So, Tulsidas ji is relating to us from the Sant tradition. What was asked and what is the most important thing? Not, he tells, this is number 4. And when do we ask? I told last night, now we see. A person will ask question when he is in between. He has to be in between. Understood nothing or understood everything. If he understood nothing, then no question. If he understood everything, then again, no question. He has to be in between. He understood some things and didn't understand some things. One Mahatma was passing through a village. So the villagers came out and they told, oh great Mahatma, you please give us some knowledge. Give us some gyan. So the Mahatma asked, he said, you all have any gyan already? Any little bit of gyan? They said, no. No gyan. Mahatma said, well, if you don't have any gyan at all, any gyan I give you, that will make no sense. Better I don't tell anything left. So the next time he was passing, they thought we'll ask him again. And this time when he asked if you have some gyan, we'll say, yeah. So again when he passed back the next time, they said, oh Mahatma, you please give us some gyan. You all have some gyan already? Yes. Well, if you have gyan already, why I'll give? Mahatma again gone. So next time, they thought, he passes here, every Magh, whatever. He's going to Prayag. Next time we come up with another plan. Half of us will tell we don't have gyan. Other half will tell we have. We have gyan. So they asked, Mahatma ji, please tell some gyan. He asked, you all have some gyan? Some people say, Mahatma ji, half of us have and half of us don't have. He said, okay, the half who have, you tell the half who don't have. Anyway, we have to be somewhere in the middle. There is one way a question will come in our mind. If I understood nothing, no question will come. If I understood everything, no question will come. Now Bharadwaj Muni shows the second way. When a question comes, if I am in the middle, that's the first way. Second way is, I just ask a question so that the Vakta and the Shrota will get an opportunity to revel in the glories of Bhagwan. And this is why Bharadwaj Muni is asking. He is not asking because he wants to know. Yagnavalkya will tell him that also. But you know everything already. You're too smart in Trinidad language. You're too smart. You only want to hear glories of Ram. That's why you're asking. Because you already know. But there's a good reason to ask. So he tells. He, in other words, fabricates a question so that we'll get into the glories of Ram. And because no better thing to do, Otherwise, people fabricate other things. Isn't it? We fabricate all sorts of worldly things only and come up with nice things. He tells. Just the next verse itself. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Nath ek samsav par more Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Kahat samohi magat bhaya laja Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Nath ek samsav par more Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Karagat ved tat sab tore Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Kahat sumohi lagat bhaya laja Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaun kahau bada hoi akaja Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Sant kahaiya saniti prabhu Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shruti Puran Muni gav Shri Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Hoi na vimal vivek ur Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Pursan kiye durav Shri Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Raghu Rama Jaya Sita Rama Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. There are some little ideas that we should remember from these lines. One is, scriptures start from samshaya. Samshaya. So all scriptures start from samshaya. Samshaya means doubt. There is a doubt, and somebody expresses the doubt, and scriptures start. This samshaya word. And Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says in Gita, samshaya atma vinashyati, that the one who keeps his doubt, that person is as good as dead. Or one who has doubt. I have to clear up that doubt with regard to God and the absolute reality we are talking about. Doubt with regard to worldly things, that will not end, no matter what we do. That will go on. And in today's world, the amount of doubt in today's world increasing or decreasing? Increasing progressively, like that. Doubt in today's world, you really don't know what to believe. That's why we have to know this big global problem. We call it fake news. Now, because this big problem is their fake news, you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. So you're always in doubt. Correct or not? Always in doubt. You know, somebody was just explaining to me. Now they could take my face and superimpose it on anything. Anything. Tomorrow you see me coming out of Abba. Yes. Though I did go to a casino once. And thank God there were no paparazzi there. I was having a Yagna in Bahamas. And the government announced that one of those storms were coming. A huge storm. And next door to us was a big famous casino. And I did like this in casino. But this is a wonderful world actually. So the amount of doubt, instead of human beings removing doubt, every day we are creating more and more doubt. The species by itself. So now on media and all, you don't know what to believe. More and more. So samshaya. So this samshaya word I'm telling, samshaya atma vinashyati, one who has all doubts about the reality, God, the absolute, Bhagwan, that person is as good as dead. So about that type of doubt, we should always seek to remove. So he says, Nat ekasam sau baramore. I have one doubt, but it's a big doubt. I've told you, Bharadwaj Muni is only fabricating all of this. He had no doubt. He want to hear Ram Katha. He so loves Ram Katha, so he makes a doubt. What is that? Karagata Veda Tattva Sabu Tur. And you, oh Yagnavalkya, you know all about Veda Tattva. You know all about the reality which is spoken about in the Vedas and all of that. Kata so mohi la gata bhaya laja. But you know, I'm feeling a little shy to ask you the question, you know. But the other thing is, Jau nakahu bara hoi akaj. Akaja. Means if I don't ask you also, I will miss a great opportunity. So I have to ask. And another thing is, Santa kahai asi niti prabhu, Shruti Purana Muniga. All the saints and sages, the Shrutis, scriptures, Puranas, everything they tell. What? Hoina bimala viveka ura. Purity will never come to our heart if we hold back anything from the Guru. If you hold back anything from the Guru, that heart will never become pure. The thing which we are holding back, when the Guru tells anything, that will prevent it from going inside. So why I am telling all of these verses, these are basic simple principles which are there in scriptures, and all of them really true. From the Guru, I remember in our when we were studying in Mumbai, one brahmachari, he had done something really bad before coming there, before coming to Mumbai. And he went to our Puja Gurudev and he told, I did not know he was following Ramayana. He went and told everything. And now he already told Gurudev, he came and told all of us also. So this comes from the Ramayana. He said, we should never hold back anything from Guru. So Bharadwaj Muni is telling, a great sage like you, you're like my Guru. I cannot hold back anything from you. So he tells like that. Now, what exactly is his question? Asabichari pragatau nija mohu harahu nata kari janapara chohu Rama namakara amita prabhava santa purana upanishada gava. All the saints and sages and the Upanishads and everywhere speak about the name of Ram. Right? Santata Japata Sambhu Abhinasi. And Lord Shiva is all the time chanting the name of Ram. Shiva Bhagavan Jnana Guna Rasi. Shiva, Lord Shiva is a ocean of knowledge and great qualities. Akar Chari Jeeva Jaga Ahahi Kasi Marat Param Pada Lahai. Lord Shiva comes and chants the name of Ram in the ears of those who die in Kashi. Bharadwaj is telling to Yagnavalkya, Sopi Ram Mahima Muniraya Siva Upadesha Karata Karidaya. Lord Shiva gives Upadesh on the name of Raman, Ityadi, right? Bharadwaj's question is this. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya कवन प्रभु पूछौ सोई श्री राम जय राम कहिए बुझाई इनकर चरित विदित संसारा राम रामचंद्र की जय. Ram Kavan. The simplest question that led to the biggest answer. Ram Kavan. Who is this Ram? That's the question. The Ram whose name Bhagwan Shiva chants. He continues, Ek Ram Avadesa Kumara. There is one Ram in Ayodhya. One prince whose name is Ram. And Tinakara Charita Vidita Samsara. And he did a lot of things in this samsara, in this world. His stories are well known. Nari Biraha Dukulahevu Apara. His wife was kidnapped and he suffered great agony, misery, when his wife was kidnapped. Bhayav Rosh, and he became angry. And Rana Ravana Mara. And the battlefield he slay that Ravan. So that is one Ram from Ayodhya. There is one Ram who Lord Shiva chants all the time. So we hear so much about this Ram. But Kavana Ram? Ram Kavan. Who is Ram? That is the question. In number 46.
प्रभु सोई राम की अपर को जाहि जपत त्रिपुरारी राम जाहि जपत त्रिपुरारी सत्य धाम सर्वज्ञ तुम कहूँ विवेक विचारि सिया बर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम
Prabhu Soy Ram ki apara ko. Is the Ram that Lord Shiva is chanting is the same as the young prince of Ayodhya? Prabhu Soy Ram? Is that the same Ram? Ki apar? Or is some other person? Some other Ram? Jahi Japat Tripurari. The Ayodhya Ram and the one who Lord Shiva is chanting is same? Or two different Rams? Satyadhama Sarvagya Tuma. You are the embodiment of truth. And all knowing, O Yagnavalkya, Kahahu, Viveku, Vichar. You please answer this question. This is the doubt which is plaguing my mind. जैसे मिटे मोर भ्रम भारी कहु सो कथा नाथ विस्तारी. To remove the, now see, he asked one question, but see the trick. This is a trick question. He asked one, who is this Ram? But he is telling now how to answer also. He first asked the question, so then you know it's a trick question. He asking the question and then he's telling how to answer. How to answer? Jaise mite mor brahma bhari kahu so katha nath bistari. Tell this katha elaborately about Ram. But Bharadwaj Muni could have just said, yes, the same Ram. Question answered. I'm Yagnavalkya. Could have said, yes, that Ram which Lord Shiva is chanting and this Ram of Ayodhya is the same Ram. And the question done. The answer done. But Bharadwaj Muni said, no, you tell this katha bistari. Bistari means elaborately in all its details. So not only he tells the question, he tells how to answer also. And now Yagnavalkya replies, and this is the nice funny part of the whole thing. And this is how you know this is all a make-up question. Why? If a devotee could make up a question, if a devotee could make up a ruse, if a devotee could make up something to hear Ram Katha, do it. Do that. Because in any case, we don't make up all kind of thing in any case. Yeah. Jaimini, the disciple of Ved Vyasji, once went to the Guru and asked Ved Vyas, because Jaimini was a karma kandi. He was a disciple of Ved Vyas. He was a karma kandi, means he likes to do rituals and chant mantras and all of those. Everybody have their own likes and dislikes, and so good. So Ved Vyasji, he went to Ved Vyasji and told, I want you to tell me a mantra to go to Swarga. To go to Swarga means the abode of the Devatas. Ved Vyasji said, I can tell you mantra, but there is a condition. If you tell this mantra to anybody, you will drop dead. So you can't tell it to anybody. I'll tell to you alone. Jaimini said, okay, Guruji, tell. I'll keep the condition. Ved Vyasji gave a mantra to go to Swarga. Jaimini went and he told the whole country, all you come by the market tomorrow. I've given all you a mantra to go to Swarga, heaven. If you want to translate a bad translation, but Swarga. Tell the whole, everybody come. Next day the market full. Everybody come to hear his mantra. So Ved Vyasji wondered, where all these people going? So somebody tell him, well, Jaimini says he's going to give a mantra to go to Swarga. So Ved Vyasji come there. And Jaimini stand up in the middle of the marketplace. And the ocean of people around. And all you listeners are going to tell it once. I could only tell it once because when I tell it, I'm going to fall dead. Ved Vyasji said, you're going to tell? He said, yes, Guruji. I will fall dead, but all of them will go to Swarga. Everybody will go to Swarga. So we say that if we have to do something for the benefit of others, even if it means bringing pain to me, this is a principle, and this is another Dharma principle. Even if it means bringing pain to myself, we should do that thing. Here, Bharadwaj Muni had to find a ruse, because this thing is going to bring such greatness, such great blessings to him, to both of them, and to all that, because both of them come from ashram and they have so many disciples. Everybody, and even today we are here. And because of that, Tulsidas ji also, and now how many of us are benefiting? In Trinidad language, I don't know if in Trinidad language, but we say, you have to lock your hand behind the back. Huh? And make him say Ram Katha. And he's telling him now Jagabalik, Yagnavalkya. Tulsidasji's reply. We have time for these two more lines. See. Jagabalake bole musukai. Yagnavalkya smiles. That smiling, you know. He smiles because he knows Bharadwaj has only come up with something. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Jagabalik bole musukai. Ram Bhagat tum man kram bani. Shri Ram Jaya Rama. Chaturai tumhari main jani. Shri Ram Jaya Rama. Jahu sunai Ram gun gudha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Ramachandra ki jai. Yagnavalkya bole musukai. First thing, Yagnavalkya, Yagnavalkya, hearing this question from Bharadwaj, you tell about who is this Ram? A great sage of his stature, Bharadwaj Muni, asking who is this Ram? Yagnavalkya laughed. He laughed and then spoke. Tumahi bidita Raghupati Prabhutai. You know all about the greatness of Bhagavan Ram already. You know. Rama Bhagat Tuma Manakrama Bani. You are a devotee in body, speech and mind of Bhagavan Ram. Chaturai. You too smart. They train in Trini language. In Trini language, they tell people that, na? You too smart. I translate it in Trini now. You're playing too smart. Chaturai tumhari mai jani. I know your smartness. I know your trick. Like that. You just asking this question as a ruse. Chahu sune Rama guna gudha. You want to hear this deep and profound glories of Bhagavan Sri Ram. Kiniyahu prasnas manahu ati mura. You concocted a question. You made up a question. Because really you want to hear the glories of Ram. Tat sunahu. But what to tell? This will happen again in Ayodhya Kand. In Ayodhya Kand, Bhagwan Ram will meet Valmiki ji. And Bhagwan Ram will ask Valmiki ji, "O sage, tell me where to stay in this Chitrakoot, in this area, tell me where to stay." And Valmiki ji will say, "But Prabhu, you know everything already. How I will tell? But since you asked, I have to tell." Well, the same thing. Bharadwaj knows everything already. But since he asked, Yagnavalkya now tells, Chahu suna, tat sunahu. Now you listen. Sadara sunu, amanu lai. Bring great love and reverence and respect for the katha of Ram in your mind and listen. Kahu Ram ke katha suhai. I will now relate this beautiful katha of Bhagwan Ram. Maha moha mahesha visala. This Ram katha is like the destroyer of Mahishasura, which is Kali Yuga. The Ram Katha is the great Kali who came to destroy Mahishasura. Kali Devi who came to destroy this Mahishasura. Ram Katha, the Mahishasura is this Kali Yuga in which we are all living. And Ram Katha for us is Kali. To destroy this Kali Yuga in which we are like that. Ram Katha sasikirana samana. So many. जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा, श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा।
इसे श्रवण कर मिट जाती है, इसे श्रवण कर मिट जाती है, 100 जन्म जन्म की व्यथा। ओ जय जय राम कथा, श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा, इसे श्रवण कर, listening to this Ram Katha, मिट जाती है 100 जन्म जन्म का की व्यथा. The pain and agony and all the durgunas, negative traits and all that we have picked up for countless births will be removed by listening to this Ram Katha. Like this, Yagnavalkya goes on to glorify this Ram Katha before he tells. Ram Katha sasi kirana samana. It is like the rays of the moon that come down and enchants the chakora bird who are the sages and saints. Like that. He goes on glorifying. Alright. Now we'll have to stop here. Yagnavalkya is going to relate this Ram Katha to Bharadwaj Muni only by rules made up by Bharadwaj Muni. And all the disciples everywhere will listen. And this is how the Bhagavad came also. Bhagavad from Ved Vyasji. Bhagavad to Shukadev Ji Maharaj. From Shukadev Ji Maharaj to Sut Ji. And all the saints who were there in that Naimisharanya and all that. And this is how it is coming down for countless generations. Now, people say, one question I will just deal with briefly. People ask, in words, there's something in Sangha we used to play called Sandesh. You tell this fellow, the Mukhya Shikshak will give you a little line, a little sentence in a piece of paper. The first person will read it. Then Mukhya Shikshak will take it away. Now, whatever you read on that little piece of paper, tell the other fellow next to you. Everybody sitting in a circle. When you tell that. So here, the sky is blue. He reads. And he tells this one, the sky is blue. He tells in his air. Only he can hear. And it goes around the circle. And comes, and Mukhya Shikshak is waiting. And he's the last person here in the line, in the circle. When that message comes back here, no sky and no blue, So people ask this question about scriptures because it is an oral tradition. It's an oral tradition and it's coming down from Ved Vyasji to Shukadev to Sutji and like that coming down to all the various people here. Coming from Lord Shiva to Kakabhushunda to Yagnavalkya to Tulsidas and all the saints. In this oral tradition, isn't the same thing going to happen? That is a big question, a legitimate question also. And the answer to that is, the same thing will not happen. And why? Because Tulsidasi writes here also. See, Varnanam Artha Sanghanam Rasanam Chandasamapi Mangalanam Chakartarau Vande Vani Vinayako. Because all the scriptures from the Vedas coming to right down to this Ramcharitamanas, every single, even though this is written in a Prakrit language, means a village language, nowhere in no scripture is Chanda broken. And because Chanda is there, Chanda is a vessel that will contain that thing and it cannot go out. But I'll just give you an example. All the brahmacharis say, you take up this mic. All who have a mic now, take up that mic. I'll show. And you chant along with me. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yadchabhavyam Utamritatvasyeshanaha Yadannena Tirohati Etavanasya Mahima. This is called what you call a Chanda tradition. They Anuswara, Datta, Pudatta, and going up and going down. And you sit down with the Guru, and if you make one tap, he'll give you a thappar. How you will not get that? And because there are exact number of syllables in every single line, if you make one mistake, you say something wrong here. Something went wrong. Stop. Something went wrong. Because in my chanting, I'm missing a syllable. You understand? In Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. You know how many extra syllables there are? Each verse has 32 syllables. 700 verses by 32 syllables in each verse. And one place in the 11th chapter, there is one additional syllable. And when we ask why Bhagavan Krishna gave one additional syllable, Bhagavan has a prerogative. What? He is Bhagavan. It's called poetic license. But if you're learning that Gita and you learn to chant it properly from this tradition, you will not miss a syllable. And if there's an extra syllable, Bhagavan put it. We'll learn the extra syllable too. So no, it doesn't happen here. The same defect which is there in Sandesh doesn't happen in Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas. So this is the answer. You have to learn that chanda properly. And this is why it is so important that we learn these things properly. We are coming out of that and coming into this age now. And this is wonderful. Okay, this question people ask all the time because of the oral tradition. Let me say a very special thank you to the organizers, Pandit Budaraji and his wonderful family. And we went to a similar ashram last night, the night before. Pandit Ramesh. I like this type of ashram. It's open air ashram, you know. It's a sign of an open heart. Open air ashram. Wonderful it was there also and here also. So wonderful. I'm so delighted to be here. So thank you very much for organizing. All the family members and everybody who came together to make it happen. Okay. A very special thank you to our Hans Hanumanji. This man is an institution in his own right. I'm sure everybody who's sitting here, who is my age and under, grew up hearing Hans Ji on radio. And now he has joined us here tonight and he's carrying through 101.7 FM. I must tell you, there is a girl who lives between Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo in Brazil. Yesterday she texted me and she said, I'm listening on Heritage Radio. I'm listening every night. So everywhere in the world, people are listening and she's enjoying way over there. All because of Heritage Radio. So thank you very much for coming and allowing all others to also enjoy this. Thanks to all the people who made it possible. Tomorrow, where are we? Yoga Meditation Society in Siparia. Siparia. Okay. Please have a look at our bookstall and all the different titles at the back there. Symbolism is a wonderful book, actually. It helped me so much in the beginning. Symbolism in Hinduism. A tremendous book by Puja Swami Nityanandaji. That time, it was supervised by Gurudev himself. Let me call on Pandit Yankatesu to receive this little token. This is actually every line of this Ramcharitamanas we did during the Vedanta course in 2017. The whole thing is here. So Panditji, a little token from our side to you and the members of the temple. All right. I think that's all the formalities. Aarti ke liye sab khair ho jaye. We'll see tomorrow in Siparia. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलितल लिपसियपि आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलितल लिपसियपि गावत ब्रह्मादिक वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम।